Okay. Are we live? Am I dead yet? Okay, I think we're finally live, Hawk. Hello everyone. It took me some time to figure out like how to finally start streaming again, since apparently the StreamYard blocked my microphone output, or input, whatever. But we're here, and today I've decided to cover the Fallout video from Mauler. And just to begin with, I have never seen this in its full extent. I have watched parts of it because it got recommended to me, but it was kind of suspicious to me that he got this video out in less than a month. So I did check that he did get like a lot of editing help, no doubt, for his popularity and notoriety that he has, but still, it's like I'm a bit envious to him. It's quite an achievement to do like a video of length that is like 2.5 hours long. But yeah, so with me I have Hawk. Hello, Hawk. He's playing the game as we're speaking.
I'm playing Fallout 4 right now.
Yeah, I can't hear you quite well. Can you get closer to the microphone so we can?
I'm incredibly close to the microphone.
Okay. Well, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so Fallout World on Fire. Let's see what we have here.
Creating satirical storytelling based on a video game does not mean you can write anything and be praised for it. We are not doing the Space Wizards thing on this channel, okay? Even he ended up regretting saying that. The point being, the deft hand in which you can weave substantive allegory, caricature, and poignant explorations of insane patterns or mundane cruelty in life is something we should ask nothing but the best for. Satire can be one of the most powerful instruments to affect change in one's mind, or one of the most embarrassing ways to reveal your own naive perspective. Now, I'm not a man who demands realism for all these stories, nor cartoonish craziness for all of them either. I demand internal consistency. All that matters is what the story tells me matters. Regardless of all that, let's have a chat about the new Fallout.
Not a bad intro so far, I have to say. Like, it's it's a bare minimum of like what someone would think of the Fallout show, but still, like, that's not bad for stars. What do you think?
It's alright.
Yeah. I guess it's gonna get worse now.
Oh, sure. Bud has an idea for 3 interconnected vaults. Bud's because the basic obstacle to achievement has been the brevity of the human lifespan. It's prevented us from working on projects that take us entire millenniums into the future. Bud's will solve that. So, we have Vault 31 releases junior executives periodically when they've been unfrozen to become overseers in Vaults 32 and 33. Through many generations, the plan is to end up having a society of super managers, because the junior executives have been taught how to be managers, and they're going to teach everyone else how to be managers. Everyone's going to be managers. It's going to be amazing. People who are good at management will create the best society. That's what Bud's is all about. Once everyone on the surface is dead, the super managers will emerge and create a great society. Until then, Vaults 32 and 33 will exchange people periodically to ensure population growth. Which means what? Vault 32 and 33 are just people to be controlled, to be bred, to create super managers? Well, Vault 33 is okay, but 32 is filled with people strangling each other. Oh gosh, they're all dying. There's blood on the walls.
Oh, that was
But
such a beautiful part of the show.
Populated, and not like the Rat Utopia experiments playing on the video inside the vault. Instead, they discovered the truth and went mad. They killed themselves and each other, and they tried to get into Vault 31. But how did Vault 32 discover the truth? truth? And why would discovering the truth, that instead of a vault in which you're meant to be kept safe and secure, you are being trained to become a super manager that will take over civilization at some point? Why is that? Like, why would that be the thing that makes you want to kill yourself? Like, yes, you've been lied to, but ultimately you're still in the exact same situation, only now you know that you're meant to take over. Like,
yeah, that is like a part of the show that does bother me still, but it's why did he jump into like the middle of the show? That's what I don't get.
The whole concept of the free connected bolts was.
I can barely hear you.
Can you?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
it's very static.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, not much better.
Is it right? Yeah, the whole idea of the free interconnected bolts was just such a bad idea that would never work at all
There's
in any way.
there's not even like any possibility for it to even like happen as an idea. Like, what makes them think that like separating the tree into like a interconnected one is going to work out?
So why would you ever think that managers would ever take over the world? Why managers would what?
A bundle
So
of
strange.
sticks.
Yeah. But anyway, let's carry on listening to him.
Right.
this is a Vault Tech personal project. They're guinea pigs, sure, but they're very well kept guinea pigs. However, if we pop our thinking caps on, perhaps Bud decided that the crop of super managers in 32 was so much less effective than those in 33 that he culled them. He forced all their food sources to die out, hoping to then, as we see in the show, split 33, the good crop, into halves and repopulate 32. But that doesn't really explain why they killed each other or themselves, nor why they wouldn't have asked for help from 33 during all of this hardship. We see how easy it is to get into an overseer's account. How come they didn't try to open the Vault 33 door out of desperation when they were willing to try it with 31? If they know, then they should know there's only cryotubes in there. 33 has food and water and people who are willing to help. But ultimately, why wouldn't they open their front vault door to the wasteland when we know they are perfectly capable of doing so, since Moldaver does it 2 years later from the outside and Lucy does it in her own vault? Hell, we find out Rose did it without Bud or Hank's permission, with Hank...
Yeah.
Never opens the front vault. It's never really explained how she gets in there.
Yeah, it's never explained, like how
You know-
Moldaver gets in. Like, there's never like an entrance to 32 or 31.
I've just realised as well, we'll never get an answer for why Vault 32 killed everybody.
Nope.
Or
We're
what we
we're
discovered.
never gonna get an answer for that.
I'm just watching this, going over it, going, oh my god, these questions that were raised in season 1 will never get answered. Now we've gone to quotation marks New Vegas.
Moldaver's never gonna show up again.
Yeah, how did Moldaver survive? I don't think they'll answer.
Yeah, well, Indians
That.
tend to survive for generations.
Because they're like cockroaches. No, but honestly, I'm looking at it and thinking, man, this season 2 has got a lot of questions that I don't think are ever going to get answered.
I think like their best defense is gonna be like, well, that wasn't a very interesting question to begin with.
No, and also knowing though that they've got supposedly 5 seasons.
Five
of
or
content.
6 seasons, according to.
Yeah, I don't believe them for a
Maximus,
second. They
No.
barely scraped a season of content.
I think
There was
it's
so
confusing.
little going on in season 1.
I think it was confusing it for the Friday the 13th series because
Yeah.
this is never going to get. Even the 4th season is like in my doubts. Like, I think it's gonna get 3 seasons at max, and we're gonna see like a huge decline even in the 2nd season because people tend to forget about these things quite quickly. People move on. Like even now, I barely hear anything about The Last of Us season 2.
No, not at all.
Like it
it was
front and center when season 1 was on, but now it's just like, I have seen like the second or third episode, and they just dropped it because of a plot twist. Joel dies, but
what a twist!
What a twist! There's no point in prepping up these shows because like
I realised I'm going to be running out of ideas when I saw the teaser trailer for season 2, and it was just the Ghoul's character being connected to every single Fallout brand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, right. So he just was like the mascot of every single brand.
Let's do Nuka-Cola now.
Okay.
Let's do some. And he has a completely different hairstyle as well. Compared to like what he has in the show, but whatever. We're gonna probably see like
this is
yeah.
Go on. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that we're gonna see like another flashback when he's on the horse, saving his diver's daughter on the horse, but we're not gonna see the rest of the flashback.
Oh yeah, I forgot that somehow finding this family was like the crux of his mission in episode 8.
Episode 8, yes. It begins with episode 1 that he is with his daughter, and it ends with like a question, and we never get to see it. It's very unsatisfying when you set up a story like this.
Well, the entire first season was something happens episode 1, then nothing happens for 6 more episodes. Then episode 8, nothing happens until the last 10-15 minutes.
Lucy changes.
Yeah, then Lucy just changes and becomes, well, I don't believe the patriarchy. You're like, oh, okay.
Even Arnold Rimmer changed way more in like a couple of episodes of Red Dwarf season 1 than a multi-million-dollar franchise that Amazon just bought.
Also,
visuals still look expensive, but it's just like I can't believe that this is like what they accepted as like quality.
Yeah, no, I'm just remembering loads of like the small little plot lines which I know are going to go nowhere.
No, none of that. How did those people? That was just like a copy of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where there's a rip-off of the ghoul, like sitting down in like that house to kill the kid.
Eating his food, yeah.
Like, how did those people come across like the NCR elite uniforms? Like at least the helmets that don't look like anything from the games, but it's so silly.
Oh well.
Let's carry on.
To follow it. Bud is apparently incapable of stopping any of that. And so you want me to buy that not a single person in Vault 32 was willing to brave the outside instead of starving to death? They must have had very specific and strange knowledge to make all of this fit, but I still really don't know how.
Mateus has joined the chat. It's Fallout time. Nothing ever happens. The series. I couldn't agree more.
What gets me?
Did you find?
Hold on.
Yeah.
He's saying that no one tried to get out. They literally died in a stupid position trying to drill the way out.
They did.
They died posing.
Pose the most magnificent way to die. Snoo.
So yeah, but did they actually try and get out? It's just the fact that the creators of this show were so stupid.
Yeah, like
they didn't realize.
One guy, I still remember, like one guy still had like a blowtorch in his hands.
Yes, had the blowtorch in his hand, died holding a blowtorch. Well, another guy died with a light in his hand. It's like, why would you die like that?
I don't know. I guess they have like developed like a new weapon that can instantly kill you, but leave like no traces.
Thing.
Yeah.
Even though there was like bodies and bullet holes and
Yeah.
People had like a knife and a toaster.
The knife and a toaster.
Oh,
This is
no Fallout. What a
this is
terrible show.
This is such a fun show. What do you mean?
Find out that Vault Tech
Oh.
blew up the world? Because, I mean, I don't see how they could possibly have found that out, but I also don't know why that would make them kill themselves. You know, however they found out, they don't even have proof. They never got Vault 31 open. How do they know what happened? And you know what? If they have an equal exchange rate of people from Vaults 31, 32, and 33, then why wouldn't they have questioned when they have referenced the fact that they know people come from Vault 31, that no one goes to Vault 31? This all becomes super retarded when you take into consideration that they start up a saying for voting in Vault 31ers for the best results. Doesn't that highlight this very strange coincidence? As if they want to make it further suspicious, they apparently tell all of the super managers from 31 to talk about how good the fucking potatoes are. How are you going to tell me anyone believes this shit? How are you going to tell me that there are any stakes in the investigation?
Steaks and potatoes. It's kind of funny because like then you would be like, okay, let's go there and let's try those potatoes. No one ever had that idea for 200 years.
Still, it doesn't matter because for some reason, every 3 years they have a trade. So these people were dead for 3 years. No one questioned anything, and then random people turned up, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you just must be a Vault 32er." It's like, yeah, sure I am.
Well, I am, but the years are showing now.
Bag of tricks from comedy can be useful. You know, where instead of having people be awesome, why not have them be dumb?
If the answer to this is
Oh man,
that does sound like the showrunner. Yeah.
yeah.
retarded,
Just
then
be
why is it
mentally
super
retarded.
And if they are
We made a show where every single person is, well, below the average IQ. And we tried to make it sound like the smartest thing ever.
sending people to Vault 31 and they just get dealt with, who's dealing with them? The fucking brain bot? He's not doing shit. So even if people were periodically sent to Vault 31, Bud Brain ain't killing them, so I don't understand. How did people not figure out something weird was going on? Why did it take Grimby? He's Grimby, don't fight this. So Moldava wants to take her raiders into Vault 33 via Vault 32 with the Pip-Boy from Rose. Considering their wacky approach, why didn't they just go straight into 33? They were willing to raid Vault 32, so why not just raid Vault 33? And then how insanely lucky is it that everyone's already killed each other ages ago in Vault 32, meaning they have every opportunity to simply take over and pretend to be Vault 32. But then why was everything untouched and unlived in Vault 32 since the deaths of the Vault Dwellers? Remember, the raiders arrived and had to live there until the date for the wedding that was organized by Moldava over the Overseer's terminal with Hank. I have no idea how she was able to pass any kind of basic check from him, by the way. We see them fully kitted out with Vault suits, Pip-Boys, exchange of information, and fundamental knowledge of the situation regarding the Vaults. They even understand etiquette, somewhat. Meaning the raiders lived in Vault 32 and changed nothing? They just hung out with the corpses right next to them as they conducted everyday life? No attempt to maybe move the bodies? Were they lucky enough to arrive just a day before the triennial schedule and Hank agreed despite having no contact for 2 years? Once you reach the end of the season, the notion that Hank would be overprotective of Lucy is an understatement. You'd think someone like him would discover as much as he could about the man marrying his daughter. You know, hopefully as a baseline you confirm he's not a fucking psychopath. I guess a man who chooses to nuke an entire city out of spite for his wife taking his daughter away doesn't care too much about who she marries. I also think it's strange that a Pip-Boy for Vault 33 can open the front vault door for Vault 32 when they are very deliberately separated vaults.
Well, I don't want to play devil's advocate, but he is the Overseer. I guess he can do that.
Yeah, the Overseer can do loads of things. What
Oh my
gets
god,
me is-
I can't prove Molly wrong? No way.
Yeah, but what gets me about it, the whole thing, is these are very, very, very simple plot holes.
They are
And
very
people-
simple.
and people raise it.
He's avoiding saying out those words.
It doesn't make sense. None of this actually make sense. Not one little bit of this start to kick off the plot makes sense.
Yeah. But like,
So
I don't like how you began this video with this. Like, this is his biggest concern so far. It should have been like way higher than this.
At this point in the season, it's the only, not the only complaint, but it's the main one. How does Moldova get in? Why is she doing it the way she's doing it? 3, how does Hank not realise that something's gone wrong? And 4, why are the 3 vaults together and no one's checked on another vault?
Yeah.
But this is meant to be like world-class fucking storytelling. It was one of the best shows of the year.
Better than the ones that were made by creators who are renowned video game creators still. And they didn't come up with any of these ideas that the Amazon show did.
Yeah.
So odd indeed.
Designed for seclusion as part of the experiment. In fact, I'm surprised that everyone has the potential to access each other's vaults. We've seen the denial of access in some cases, but why would someone outside of Vault 32 with a 33 Pip-Boy be granted access? Why wouldn't Bud have controls to prevent the opening of all 3 vaults? Surely the release of any super managers is the final plan, and so surely it must be approved by him. But okay, so her plan has now evolved into pretending to be Vault 32 people, to then perform a faux wedding with the Vault 33 people, to then capture Hank McClane and take him back to the observatory because he has the codes to activate the cold fusion. What a wonderful plan, except everyone's a retard. Why didn't Vault 33 do any systemic or rad checks with Vault 32, nor did they recognize any of these people despite making trades once per 3 years? What, did everyone die and get replaced with people who had a 3-year growth spurt? How the fuck does any of this happen? Wouldn't Hank have known about a replacement overseer while in communication with Bud and the mysterious silence from Vault 32 for 2 years? Do you guys remember when they split Vault 33 into 2 halves so that they can do this same system forever? Do you really think it would make a lick of sense to them to not recognize anyone after just 3 years? Is everyone stupid? None of you were capable of lifting your arm up one time to check for radiation? And then on the Raiders side of the retardation, they just let anyone casually walk into Vault 32 to see all of the dead people. Why the fuck would you let anyone in to see the dead people? That literally ruins the whole fucking point. All the Raiders had to do was say, fuck, you know what? No one's allowed in because we had a cold spread around. And there's a bunch of people in there with a cold and you can't come in. But that never should have fucking worked because everybody would recognize these aren't Vault 32ers anyway. The goal of the Raiders was to infiltrate Vault 33 and get access to the Overseer because he has the codes they need.
I'm gonna check the timestamps because this is getting boring.
No, he's.
We're not
it's
even,
very simple.
We're not even 10 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, the plot is built on a massive plot hole that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This show is not good. I don't know why people
the show is
praised it.
kind of bad.
Kind of. It's terrible. Honestly, the people who enjoyed this show must have, like...
2024's California on their brain 24/7.
It's not even that. It's just so poor. The show is just so poor.
Yeah. All right.
It's built upon tons and tons and tons of plot holes that don't make sense.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, we can continue on to where it's supposed to be about Moldova. Okay.
Oh, cool. Moldova makes no sense either.
Yeah.
Is for Rose and wants to provide free, clean energy to the people of the wasteland. Her plan was to go from the observatory to Vault 32 to Vault 33 back to the observatory. This mission would involve collecting Hank McClane. She needs Hank McClane because he has the code that will activate cold fusion. However, she also needs what Wilzig puts into his neck. So, Moldova organizes a very long system of retrieval for Mr. Wilzig. She provides Rufus with Caps, who then provides Tommy Philly with Caps, who then provides Ma June with Caps, who then agrees to provide protection and escort to Wilzig to the observatory. Now, you may have one question there. Why the fuck didn't Moldaver just pick up Wilzig herself? She and her team of raiders went to Vault 32 on foot. That's where Lucy starts. She, by chance, bumps into him in Philly and then takes his head to the observatory. The only reason an extended set of idiots would have been paid Caps by her to move him from Philly is because she knew he would be in Philly. Had she just waited with her raiders in or near Philly for a day, she could have taken...
I also find it so funny that, like, the Enclave never sent anyone after Wilzig, like the scientist man.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, okay, you know, it's like cold fusion energy, like a new type of cold fusion energy, because the cold fusion has been in Fallout since the beginning, but this type of energy that you can just like revive like 200-year-old light bulbs in the city, like, and all the electricity and all that, but you can't have that just with like something that you can put in your head and then get it out with a syringe. It's kind of like an ass pull from them, but it was to be expected.
It's like you say, the whole plot is just ridiculous.
It's an ass pull. I have like no further words for that. It's just like everything just happens.
Yeah. There's no logical progression to the plot.
Nope.
There's no logical reason for any of the things that are happening to happen.
Yeah.
It is just. I can't even describe it properly with how actually bad this show is. And I don't understand why people are excited about more of this in season 2.
I want more of this. Like, I just love that every single time, like, it came up, like, Fallout came up as, like, a conversation, like my normie conversations kind of stuff. Like, the kind of mysteries that were surrounding the show were always focused around, oh, I can't wait to know more about the cold fusion stuff, or like, oh, I want to see more of the ghoul, and it's just, what else is there? Like, nobody cares about the world itself. They just want to see like some cool action stuff or some sci-fi shit.
It's not even that. It's almost like the people who like the show have a completely different version of the show than what was shown.
Yeah. They have
It's
seen
like,
a completely different show, or they were imagining something else.
Yeah, like you see all people talk about how good the three characters are together, and I can't really remember scenes where they're all three together.
Episode 2 and the last episode, that's it. And even then, it's like less than a few minutes.
Yeah, episode 2 though is because Maximus is fighting the ghoul. And then gets shot off.
Yeah, that's
into the atmosphere. Yeah. And then at the end, Maximus is unconscious on the ground and doesn't interact with the ghoul.
Mm.
And also, I don't understand as well why Lucy falls in love with Maximus.
Because the plot demands it.
Yeah, the plot demands the white woman sleep with the black guy. Yeah, I know. Because there's nothing A, heroic about him, or B, actually attractive. The guy's a sniveling coward who backstabs everybody.
He is. He is the Arnold Rimmer of the Fallout universe, except like not charming at all.
He's got no, and I still don't understand what they want to do with the Brotherhood. So,
zealots, like lunatics, maybe. That's the closest thing they can get.
But then at the same time, they're trying to push Maximus to the top of the hierarchy in the show.
Well, they have this idea that like Maximus is like the Luke Skywalker of the show, but he not a single time do I feel sorry for him. The kind of things that he has, like to defend himself, or like he thinks he's doing that, are just irredeemable stuff, like in like the view of the show. The kind of things that like he just wants to cold blood kill his friends, or make them have harm with them. Yeah, he has plenty of issues.
He showed joy that his friend got their foot cut up.
Yeah.
He was okay with his commanding officer dying because he was a little bit mean.
He was mean.
Once he got found out by that other squire, he broke the squire's foot. He helped Lucy only so far because A, he wanted to get the head so he could get back to the Brotherhood and be a hero, and then B, because he wanted to put his dick in her.
Yeah. He wanted his dick to explode.
And then right at the end, when he says, "Oh, I'll delay the Brotherhood with a fake head," the second the Brotherhood realised, "Oh, this is just a fake head. We know what the guy looks like." He immediately rats out where Lucy's going to save his own skin. And then he sneaks in through the fight and gets knocked out, misses everything, and then when he comes round, he just takes the glory. And you're like, okay, I'm not cheering for this character. This is a bad guy character. This is the Weasley character who usually gets their comeuppance at the end of a season.
Yeah.
And he's our hero, or one of our heroes.
We're supposed to be rooting for him, but like the only character that is like
for anybody.
The only character that is at least like the most consistent, and I'm like have a hard time like saying this out loud, but it's the ghoul from the tree, because at least like he's not as dumb as Lucy.
Really, yeah. I'm trying to think of what's the ghoul's character arc in season 1, and it is asshole, 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 still an asshole, still an asshole, still an asshole. Last 5 minutes. Okay, Lucy, I just want to kill your dad, but I'll be nice. We're friends now.
Okay, everyone, we're friends now.
That's literally it. At no point do they grow to be like friends in the show.
Yeah.
Or even allies in any way until the last 5 minutes, when it just turns into the ghoul wants to kill Hank because he thinks Hank has something to do with his family, and Lucy wants to kill Hank because she got told by Moldaver that Hank killed everybody, and we have to take that as gospel from a person who murders people and lies and is also a raging communist.
It's like none of these characters are honest, and that's what's bothering me, because in every Fallout game you have characters that don't have a lick of irony to their dialogue, so you can trust them, like what they say or do. Fallout show is nothing like that. There's I don't like anyone in this show.
Even the untrustworthy ones, you know why they're untrustworthy, because they have a goal and an agenda. In the show, everyone's just an arsehole.
Everyone. It's just like entire show is just full of misery. Even the first Fallout game, it's just like a very depressing game and all. Like New Vegas and Fallout 3 and so on, like they try to line up, even Fallout 2 to an extent, but Fallout 1 is just like, wow, like this is just really just the end for humanity. Like there's no way that it can get any worse than this. And then the Master shows up with the virus and so on, but really, like if you do the good things around the people that are still there, like the survivors, they reward you somehow. In this show, it's just they do find that Vault 4, or I don't exactly remember, like the one that has the refugees from Shady Sands, and some of the experiments. So like they have the blood ritual, so they are either like extremely violent or super weird in their own way, or a mix of the two. These are the only groups that you encounter in this show. and it's bothering me.
And
no one else.
Remember the 6 agencies.
The 6 agencies that we don't know anything about.
I really have to ask people who like this show, what was your favorite part about this show? What did you enjoy about the plot?
I really like the 5 agencies, and when the other agency joined them, that was just the peak moment for me.
It's like if you ask them, if you ask anybody what happened in the plot, they will say, "Oh, Moldaver jumps into the vault." And you're like, "Oh, that's episode 1."
That's it.
And Lucy finds her dead mum. Okay, that's episode 8. What's the rest?
And then
of the
they
show?
have a big fight, you know, like they have like
and then we see,
helicopters.
Then we see the Lucky 38, and you're like, okay, that's the very end of the show.
That's the very end of the show.
So what about the actual main part of the show? What do you enjoy about it?
They meet Mr. House. That's episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah. All right, we're going to meet Mr. House, and he's going to go, "Oh, I lied in this meeting we had." It's like, okay,
it's gonna be so bad. Right, let's listen to some of the Maximus stuff from Marley.
Maximus, the best character. I'm sure all of you will agree. Everyone's
Yes!
favorite little shit. Whether the fucking razor blade in a boot thing was him or the friend, I don't actually care at all. It was so fucking stupid.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
None of it makes any sense. No one should believe anyone could get wounded to that extent by stupidly shoving their leg into a razor-bladed boot over and over again. Second, there's no way to think that it was actually him that did it. Like, there's no real evidence, but a bunch of people do assume that it was him, and so he gets promoted? He denies doing it, of course, but expresses that he wants it to have happened. That is expressly antithetical to the creed of the Brotherhood of Steel in this show.
He was using speech. That's the only explanation.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
Yes.
He was using terrifying presence.
Terrifying presence. And then the elder replies, "Yes."
Yes. I was like, holy shit, this guy's insane. Play it cool.
He is terrified already.
Oh my god, this guy's gonna kill all of us. I better promote him.
I better promote this one lone man in his 20s. or however old he is. I think like I did it for the video that I did research it on the wiki articles, because they did like contain like some interviews and what's that? Like Amazon has released like some official details about the age of some of these characters. And Maximus is 20 something. Lucy is also in her mid 20s, so it's. I'm not gonna bring up that topic, but it's just so funny. Like he's barely that age, but like he's already like the most terrifying thing apparently, and only a few people admit it. Right, let's go.
I think he probably did it anyway. And not that it matters, but why did Dane think this wouldn't affect anyone? Like, did you actually think you could butcher your own leg, deny responsibility, and no one would be blamed? And then, when that's actually brought up, the conflict of Maximus having taken the fall for Dane's self-harm, we get nothing. It's erased immediately. But who cares? Time for a promotion. Now he gets to be a squire. Like, why? Well, you see, it takes a lot to sabotage your fellow soldier, and that's taking power or something. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Instead of having people be awesome, why not have them be dumb?
So off he goes on his adventure, and his knight gets bored and so lands for no other reason than fuck it. And then they almost immediately bump into the exact trail of the guy they're following. Now bear in mind, when sent on this mission, the Brotherhood are scouring the wasteland for Wilzig. It just so happens that these guys drop out on their way to one location and they fall right on top of Wilzig's trail. Incredible. So then Maximus just lucks out because a Yaoguai decides to ninja attack the knight instead of him when he's not wearing any fucking armor at all. And so the knight is scared and he runs away in such a way that he fucking kills himself. I don't know, he like breaks his neck or he's bleeding, it doesn't matter. It's just the ninja Yaoguai is so stupid. Anyway, the knight needs a stim to be alive, and because this show is written by shitty cartoon children, it doesn't actually like make anything make sense. He is desperate for a stim, and so he decides while his squire is collecting it to tell him how much he has failed and will be killed for it. It's written like shit. He's like, oh, why are you taking so long to get a stim? You're just so bad at your job. I can't wait for you to get me my stim so that you can then be killed for being bad at your job. You best get me that stim, or I'm gonna be mad if you don't get me that stim. I'm gonna die, and then you'll be in less trouble if you don't get me that stim. So Maximus lets the knight bleed out, and that's that. Why did he leave the squire bag behind? That thing is filled with all kinds of... Ugh. He gets contacted and supplied a replacement squire and tries to put on a voice to trick the Brotherhood as to who they're speaking to.
This is Knight Titus. Over.
That voice doesn't sound like anything, let alone Michael Rappaport.
Oh, this part was such a headache. Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, so I think he's just like really scraping, like not scraping the bottom, but like he's just like very surface level still. I was expecting him to be able to get like a deeper cut of like this bullshit, but I guess it's all there is. Yeah. Let's see. There's a part about capitalizing on satire.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if he has something new to say. Oh.
To outrun
okay.
Nukes on a horse instead of getting into the fallout shelter because he's retarded. I grant it may be difficult to get into the shelter, but one would try rather than braving the nukes. Speaking of which, I have a new topic. You see, and I quote, "It's the result of this fruit-bearing collaboration that we're able to make America great." That is the opening line of a discussion between fat cat capitalists talking about the end of the world. You see, Vault Tech sell vaults. Vaults are much better when the world is being destroyed, if not for the simple reason that that's when they're going to protect you. And so, as they say, rumors of peace have set us back for sure. It would seem that the potential financiers of Vault Tech are a bit worried. Why invest in a company that's only valuable during wartime? Besides, the fat cats don't understand vaults. Won't people just eat you when you come back out? All of the feral Stone Age level people just running around eating flesh, you know? Well, the solution there is that you stay in your vault for so long that everything outside dies. Yes, isn't that a tempting prospect? They're going to win the game of capitalism, as they actually say, by outliving people.
That is how we will win the great game of capitalism, not by outfighting anyone, but by outliving them.
Because capitalism is all about killing everyone. Only they're...
You would have thought that a company like Amazon would understand how capitalism works.
Well, you would hope, yeah.
It was one of the most basic things where you literally realise that the writers were retarded and had no concept of how capitalism works.
At that very moment, he knew.
Stuffed up. One of the people were like, "Oh, we can have a vault where we could teach robots to deliver milk to people's doors." It's like, why? Why? Why would you have that?
And these are the people that lead like the biggest companies in the US in the Fallout universe.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, and then obviously it's like, oh, we could create like stupid mutants with illegal migrants, and you're like,
legal immigrants.
To wage what war? To wage what war?
What kind of war? Yeah.
Because bear in mind that crazy black woman who is Ghoul's wife thinks that if they wipe everyone out, it'll stop war. So why do they need super mutants to wage wars on people? You're like, right, I guess if that's not working, it's like, oh yeah, we could stick like 99 men and one woman in there because that's in the game, but it made sense in the game. This way, it's just like, why? Everyone's dead. You have no plan at all.
None at all.
But capitalism is just about destroying the entire world and making loads of money, and it's like, with who? What money? Like, this is why with House saying, "Oh yeah, there's lots of capital to be gained in the end of the world."
There's a lot of potential in the end of the world. Yeah, it's, House would never say that.
No, House in the video games saved numerous things.
Like,
in fact,
only 2 or 3 nukes reached Vegas, I believe.
And that's only because the platinum chip was a day late.
Yeah.
If it had arrived a day before the nuclear exchanges, he would have been able to shoot all of them out of the sky.
Yeah. All of them.
Whereas this version of House, from what we've been shown so far, until they will clearly retcon him, because they're going to retcon him. They're going to retcon loads of stuff from season 2. You just wait.
Yeah. It's gonna make.
You know, I'd even put money that the NCR is still a thing.
Really? You believe
so?
So?
I 100% believe that the NCR is going to be exactly the same as it was in New Vegas. And that they go, oh wait, that Shady Sands. Oh no, it didn't really matter. It didn't really bother us. Just some loony called Moldava got affected by it.
Do you think
the NCR still exists?
Do you think Caesar's Legion is still a thing?
Possible. Because they'll need something for member berries.
And the Brotherhood faction that was near Vegas, maybe they are still alive. Like the hidden, yeah.
I'd put money on all the factions still being around in some way, just so that people go, look, he's exactly like the game. What were you complaining about?
So there's gotta be some great cons, or the White Glove Society.
There'll be little cameos in like the first episode, and then it can be a boring slog for the next 6, and then something will happen in episode 8.
You like the sight of your own blood? They're gonna be wearing the exact same uniforms as before.
Yep.
They're gonna have like that kind of look because they can 3D print stuff from the video games. That is like a well-known thing.
Yep.
And that's about it.
As a problem,
but no, this scene was just terrible.
Find rats and they'll end up eating each other. Who says they'll even survive the vaults? And so, Vault Tech's solution is that all of them can play out several ideas across more than 100 vaults to create the perfect conditions for humanity. No one needs to know how unethical it is. May the best idea win. To which Mr. House says,
"There's a lot of earning potential with the end of the world."
What the fuck are you talking about, you stupid goblin man? How the fuck is there a lot of money to be made at the end of the world?
Yes.
That would mean the world has ended. Are you retarded?
We could overcrowd a vault so people have to compete to survive inside it.
What the fuck does that idea have to do with making money? How are you this bad of a capitalist?
Developing a robot that delivers milk to the...
Yeah, that is just so bad. Because like that guy, like for some reason, like they are mixing up dead money with like the big mountain.
Old World Blues.
Yeah, Old World Blues for some reason. Because like Sinclair is like a charming, handsome man from the according to those paintings, but here is just like an elderly, obese man who has like the most retarded ideas ever. I'm so sorry to say.
This scene shows that the writers are left-wing activists who have no idea how things work.
Yeah.
And especially don't know anything about the video games. They go, oh, he runs a company, he must be a fat old man.
He must be a fat old man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and House likes gambling, so he must look Jewish.
Yeah.
You're like, right, okay. But this one here, this is what this woman says, is like the icing on the cake of like how stupid this whole scene is. It always sticks with me.
Yeah.
Delivering stuff to people's doors.
Delivering so not only are they hyper unethical capitalists, they're also hyper clowns.
What about using a vault to develop a super mutant soldier using illegal
Why would anyone be excited by that idea when trying to increase the capital of their
so
company?
stupid.
Why do they all want a post-apocalypse once they're told they could experiment with people? But mutually, it's referencing vault experiments from the game. I don't give a shit if they are superficially referencing something from the game. I am talking about the writing in this scene, the characters. I am
thing is, though, it mentioned it's because it's in the game. Yeah, the game had a reason for all this.
Yep.
They had actually a natural reason. The show is, we can make money from this. Okay, that's retarded. The show is, the Enclave took over the Vault projects and did it themselves. They didn't involve the other companies. The other companies had no idea. And the Enclave had the secret plan. That's why. Whereas in this one, it's, we can make money from all these stupid fucking ideas. Isn't our writing really great? Oh, by the way, Black Woman says war never changes. Oh, greatest show that's ever existed. Oh.
War never changes. Or does it?
You know, people like this show. People who like this show, I don't want to interact with, ever. At all.
Ever. You have been outcast from society.
If I ever ruled humanity, I would go door to door, knock on the door and go, did you like the Fallout show? And if he said yes, then it's a firing squad immediately. You are no longer useful.
This is gonna be like a new remigration policy in the UK, mind you. Door to door, the Prime Minister is gonna go like, okay, sir, have you seen the Fallout season 2? Oh yeah, I really love it. It's the best show ever. Well, get on the boat.
No, it's not even get on the boat. Get in the gas chamber. We don't need you. Pointless you.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to enter the Thames. No fish and chips not included. But sir, I want my tartar sauce. Shut up.
No one speaks like that, Mark.
Yes, they do. They all do. I hate this show.
So bad. The show is so bad. This scene.
What is that?
Masquerading as a brain came up with this. Oh boy, they're all just super evil. Which is actually a pretty retarded statement, considering that if he's on board with this whole plan, that means he's on board with nuking the whole world for capitalism. Believe me, my good man, the more people are alive, the more markets function, the more opportunity you have to take advantage of every last buck in circulation, the better off you will be as a fat cat capitalist. You are not going to benefit from the entire world being nuked, and I can't believe anyone would have to explain this to any of these people. But you know what? At least he had a sliver of creative thinking. What if they invest in the vaults and there is no war? What was the point of their money then? How can they guarantee results?
By dropping the bomb ourselves.
Oh, so stupid.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
People have compared Fallout as a satire to Austin Powers, saying that it is no less effective at making fun of villainous caricatures, clearly proving they haven't watched Austin Powers in 20 years, nor are they aware of the concept of tone. Listen to just the soundtrack here. I mean, look at it. Cooper is having an existential crisis while realizing his wife is Satan. This is not Dr. Evil announcing his desire for sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their head.
Yes, thank you. People always use it's satire. I'm like, do you know what satire is?
Yeah.
This is not satire. This is you being stupid. Know what? No. Oh man, this is why I like arguing with people about the Fallout show. It's just such a waste of time, because you're like, listen, if you think this idiotic pile of crap is good, then you just don't understand anything about anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well they're going to make loads of money. What money? Oh well, they'll just make bottle caps. How do they know that bottle caps would be the currency in the post-nuclear world?
It's just like gold, you know. It has so many uses for it. except when
Yeah.
there's no one to use them for. So stop this madness.
God.
We
Oh,
can
man.
go on this point, or we can go to.
Yeah, no, go on this point because it's so good.
It's the best part so far of the video.
Yeah, this is the point where it really hammers home how bad this show is.
Yeah.
Everything collapses because they're basing the entire Fallout series now on the most stupidest premise that you could actually base anything on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to word it in a way that doesn't insult half the population that enjoyed this show, but I don't care about their feelings anymore.
It is a castle built with the foundation of like shit. Like there's no other way around this.
Yeah.
we have to accept that this is the way they're thinking. But like the best part is that like I did talk with people that were saying that like, well, yeah, like I mean, man, like this is indeed capitalism because there can be only one and monopoly. It's like they try to kill the entire population so they can survive, but there's not gonna be anything outside if everyone's dead.
Bear in mind that all these vaults have only got like 1,000 people in it at max.
Yeah.
How
long is it gonna take to get even a fraction of that population back?
And people are literally talking about like killing half their vault.
Yeah.
Or shoving it through. Oh, we need a robot in there. It's like, why?
So
I don't.
Even less a chance for survival.
Honestly, like the scale of like what you need to just even repopulate the planet to a level where you could like go, oh well, we will make money out of this. You need more than like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
You can get retard babies very quickly.
You're gonna speedrun that so fast.
Yep.
Okay, let's watch more Dr. Evil.
Why the fuck would you even say that you plan to drop the bomb in front of an entire board of people whose companies rely on things not being nuked? Do you trust them to not simply say, you're a fucking monster and I will never let you destroy the world? Or are we relying on knowing they are capitalists? Meaning, of course, if there's a buck to be made, there's a nuke to be dropped. For the record, I am actually okay with the idea that there is a friendly bomb being dropped on friendly soil if you can justify in the writing. What we're being told here is our team of capitalist retards think they can make the most money ever when the whole world is nuked. And of course, if natural tensions and war doesn't provide this situation for them, they will simply nuke themselves to make money. They are sacrificing top dog positions in a capitalist society filled with countless people ready to make money from, so they can run an insane nonsense experiment that destroys everything because money? Because in countless generations, Earth will somehow be better off. Because as you and I know, every hypercapitalist on Earth wants to end up in a hole with limited resources and activities in order to increase their bottom line. They couldn't think of a way.
Yeah? I'm not hearing you. I think we lost Hawk. He'll be back very soon.
What happened there?
Well, you paused the video, did you?
Yeah.
But like your voice went out for a minute.
Yeah, it's just something really strange there. I was listening to it, but it just like became really, really loud. And I was like, oh, what's happened here?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's fine on my end. Go on.
Okay, yeah. Just play, yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Think of a way to write this. This is the most cartoonish and retarded possible way to justify this revelation. This isn't Spaceballs, motherfucker.
A nuclear event would be a tragedy, but also an opportunity.
You know what would be a pretty good capitalistic opportunity? A functioning economy.
When we are the only ones left, there will be no one to fight. A true monopoly.
Fucking kill me, the ultimate capitalist where everyone except me is dead.
This is our chance to make war obsolete.
Yes, let us make war obsolete because everybody will be dead. What are you talking about?
War never changes.
Bitch, if you think war needs to be made obsolete because it never changes, then how do you account for the fucking modus operandi of the super manager vaults nuking anyone who isn't them? You have over 100 vaults working to compete, as is your intention. You think that can't lead to war?
Yeah. I guess it happened again. Hawk didn't kill himself. Alright. Right, he'll be back very soon. I believe so. Anytime now.
What happened there?
Well, you paused the video and you were gone for a minute.
Right.
Same as before.
Something's happening with my mic.
I see.
I think I'm running out of like charge on it or something.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, maybe.
Let me just plonk it into charge
Sure.
again.
Well, in the meantime, it's really just like the stuff that I have discussed in my video previously. It's that like this plot doesn't make any sense.
No.
Honestly, it's like it still doesn't. Like now that like Mahler reminded me of like how convoluted it is. I disagree with him. I think in this point of the story, like there's no room, even if it was written well, of like a friendly bomb being dropped. Because it's like they are at war with China, and they are like on the edge. And like China launched the nukes anyway because of FEV. If we remove that, like then that is like such a major part of the story that like you can't ignore it. Like the first game is basically centered around this. China nuked the US because they were afraid of like the FEV virus like doing something or like changing the sides of the war.
Well, they were America was close to invading Beijing.
Yeah,
and it was Americans had pretty much nearly won the war.
Yeah.
So that's why the nukes were fired.
That was the last resort.
The idea of being nuked themselves only works with the Enclave doing it, but doing it in a way because they wanted to take over America.
Yeah.
But then but the way they do it with this, it's just nuking the world for money just doesn't make sense. And like I say, with everything that happens in this series, everything that gets piled on and on and on, and you start realizing there's no actual coherent story, and there's no actual plot or anything. It's just bullshit on bullshit on bullshit.
Yes.
Until you reach the end. And then you get told even more bullshit, and it's like, oh well, Lucy's a badass now. Go on, they're going to New Vegas to do something. And you're like, right.
Bullshit never changes. It just smells.
Yeah.
They have really like ruined themselves in the corner, and it's only the first season. Like, imagine if this does go on for 5 seasons. Like, how deep you're gonna write yourself into. Like, I think by the 5th season, they're not even gonna be in the Fallout world. They're just gonna like move on to like somewhere else.
What? The only thing going, the only plot line for season 2 is chasing down Hank.
Yes,
that's it.
But it's such a. It doesn't have like any interesting parts in it. Like
no,
like, I don't care about Hank.
Up until up until episode 8, everyone wanted him to be rescued.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like last minute plot twist.
But he's actually evil.
He's actually evil. He shot a nuke because he got mean.
And you're like, right, so he's now the bad guy. Okay. What? I don't care.
Can we get rid of
I don't
Good riddance.
I don't care about this story because this whole plotline was given to me by a woman who our only interactions have been she murdered innocent people.
Yeah.
Literally murdered innocent people and stabbed a pregnant woman's eye out.
Yeah.
And then was shown in the past being a raging communist in a world where, at this point in time, communists were just pure evil bastards who wanted to destroy everything, along with...
Yeah.
So, I don't get it. I don't get why I have to listen, why she's the good guy. Oh, she wanted to give energy to everybody. Yeah, that's great, but if you looked out into the background from her hideout, everyone has lights anyway.
Yes.
So...
They already figured it out. Without your help.
Yeah. Also, why does she want to give Shady Sands electricity? It's a crater, supposedly.
Yeah.
But Shady Sands is a completely different argument.
It's completely like it's just as I said. Like they are writing themselves in like a hole in the ground.
They've got no idea. They've got no idea how to make a start, middle, and end of a story. They just literally write whatever sentence comes to them, and it doesn't matter if it contradicts the previous sentence. Only the present matters. The future doesn't matter because it's not been written yet, and the past doesn't matter because the past is always bad.
Past is always bad, and the biggest thing is that the real world is bad because there's inequality and such. And speaking of which, I have went on to the next part, which is the cowboy versus communism. This is sure to be very exciting because it's gonna come from Mahler, and he's, as we all know, he's a cowboy.
I think.
Okay, let's see.
Yourselves, even ignore.
Have you came back to the watch together?
I'm clicking it now.
Okay.
But for some reason, it's decided to just kick me out.
Yeah. The link should be working. Okay.
Yep.
Is it ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Ignoring the apparently far too complicated concept of supply and demand, once you destroy the world and make all the money, what are you going to buy? What can you buy? There's still so much left. For example, our all-American cowboy, who does eventually become the Ghoul, starts this show in his movies killing commies.
I hope you like the taste of lead, you commie son of a bitch.
Unfortunately for his show, Bob is fired and the writing is getting worse.
Bob's a bit of a communist.
Communist?
Our little capitalist cowboy then starts to promote Vault Tech.
Strong enough to keep out the rads. And the reds. If I may say, you all are doing God's work here.
Only as time goes on, he starts to lose faith in promoting Vault Tech. He finds out he's helping to promote Bud Askins. Yes, the very same Buds man. You see, Cooper fought in the war, and he was provided West Tech power armor suits that failed through design flaws. In any case, this is where Bud talks about how time is the ultimate killer. Anyway, as Coop decides to go further with these ads, he starts to lose opportunities. Actors shun him, and he can't get as many movie deals. It seems he's almost selling his soul to capitalism. And everyone who's critical of his failing principles is being called a red, including an old friend of his, Charlie Whiteknife. But what's crazy is he served with Charlie. How is it possible that he's a commie son of a bitch?
Hollywood Reds. They've even got your friend, Charlie Whiteknife.
Are you kidding me, Charlie?
But at least he has Matt Berry as a friend.
You're a product, I'm a product. The end of the world is a product. To those of us who can successfully embrace that, I'd say the future is golden.
I'm having trouble figuring out who the good guys and the bad guys are. Anyway, Cooper's wife explains that she she's working with Cooper and Vault Tech despite all of the horrible ethical implications because she wants a good slot in the vaults. Cooper obviously points out he's super rich, so that's unnecessary. They can just buy one anyway. But she says she wants a good spot in one of the good vaults. That is an incredibly suspicious thing to say, and unfortunately for the audience, Cooper is a retard and doesn't ask her anything else about that. Cooper then meets up with his friend who explains to him what...
I disagree with this at one point because Cooper does pressure the wife several times.
Oh yeah, he does.
Several times.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if like Mullen did that just to cover for like bad writing, but or ideological reasons probably. But it does, like every single moment like that ends that like the wife gets like really pissy, or like she cuts the conversation short, or she starts crying. And like they are married, so the husband needs to be supportive, and that's the end of it. That's why he doesn't. But he does get like suspicious enough that like he plants like what's that, like a listening device on the Pip-Boy. So
it all stems from he wants to keep the dog.
Yeah, he wants to keep the dog.
And she's like, we can't keep the dog.
Can't keep the dog.
Why not?
Wow.
They don't allow dogs in the vault. Why don't we allow dogs in the vault? They just don't. Okay, that's not an answer.
Yeah, and that they get into the conversation, the best conversation, the best dialogue ever written by an Amazon show. You don't know.
Because Cooper is actually asking serious questions.
I've been in a war. Cooper has been in a war, but the wife had to stay home and wait for bad news that could happen any moment.
But
That's the same.
The thing about it is, but the thing about that is, Cooper doesn't accept that answer.
No, it doesn't.
He goes, no, why aren't we allowed the dog? I thought so we could have freedoms. I'm not going to a vault and not having freedoms.
Yeah.
And it's like, Amazon was so desperate for you to be like on the side of the wife. It's like, no.
I thought like the first time I saw that scene is that like it's very obvious that the wife is like trying way too hard, and like you're supposed to be on Cooper's side, but I guess Cooper is the villain in that scene. Strange, very strange.
Let's also be aware at this point in time in the series, the Ghoul is still pretty much a villain.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
So it's so odd. I can't decide like what they intended for this character to be.
Fiduciary responsibility means that the US government have outsourced the survival of the human race to Vault Tech, and Vault Tech is a private corporation that has a fiduciary responsibility. It must make money for its investors, and how does it make money?
And how does it make money? Selling vaults.
That's called capitalism, Charlie.
Oh boy, yes it is. But you can't sell vaults if peace happens. So in this case, capitalism needs war. It has a fiduciary responsibility to prevent peace.
Yeah, how are they gonna do that?
I don't know.
Well, you see, Vault Tech has a lot of power, so the world may just burn down if the people don't do something about it. Our little capitalist cowboy is now having a bit of trouble understanding his own principles, so he goes to one of these communist meetings.
Communist meetings? Come on, man.
You should come to a meeting. You should learn the truth about where your wife works.
And those principles, how much did Vault Tech pay to take them off your hands?
You see, he sold out to Vault Tech. He sold his integrity to ads. But he has a worthy rejoinder in that he points out,
I'm not ashamed to earn a living.
There's a lot of money in selling the end of the world.
Yeah, apparently, since that motivates all the capitalists in this fucking show.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of money in selling a political ideology that ends in bread lines.
Okay.
They called him a fascist.
How do you know my wife?
But that is unironically the best line from Cooper in the show.
The problem is like, yeah, that's the true statement about communism, and people are gonna have to wake up to that. It's an ideology that ends in bread lines, because to make everyone equal, you've got to be equally as poor.
Yeah.
There's no in communism. It's not everyone becomes millionaires.
It's not every day. Yeah. I wonder what he's gonna say about this though.
My research company was acquired by her division.
So Moldaver here explains that it was actually Cooper's wife that bought out her cold fusion technology. She was literally going to solve energy, and Barbara from Vault-Tec stopped it.
Capitalism.
She apparently had multiple companies working on this. She would have saved the world. But Vault-Tec, remember, they want to blow everyone up, so they don't want infinite energy to get to anybody. Did you ever wonder why, as a writer of course, that when trying to tell the story of the capitalists nuking their own planet and the communists being the greater good, you had to write in what is tantamount to fucking magic? It's getting to the point now where Vault-Tec are so evil that they will do anything for money unless that thing is also helpful to people. They could patent and sell infinite energy to everyone on Earth, and instead they want to fucking blow it up. In any case, she's trying to convince Cooper that his wife is a monster. She is, by the way, but that's besides the point. She wants him to spy on her to learn the truth. But the wife is a horrifying capitalist. The capitalist cowboy here is a useful fucking idiot who doesn't even know how economic systems work. Hey, I wasn't the one who said it.
Do you know what fiduciary responsibility means?
I have no fucking idea. I play a cowboy for a living.
And hey, maybe he should consider switching sides. I mean, the conversation does end with this banger.
I'm not a communist, Mr. Howard. That's just a dirty word they use to describe people who aren't insane.
This lie.
Yeah.
You
You show me a communist and I will show you an insane person.
But like, did Wallace say that unironically? Like a banger line? Really? That one?
No, I think it's to be like, this is one of the most stupidest things I've ever heard. How could you say that?
Let's hope so.
How can you say, oh, I'm not a communist, that's just what people call someone who's not insane. Your ideology wiped out 100 million people on purpose.
It's gonna wipe out even more.
Bear in mind, at this point in time, they're also fighting the Chinese, who are massively communist at this time, because the Chinese want to wipe everyone out.
Yeah. They
Like,
have,
this
but
is
like the
something
thing is that like the riots have like the image that like China is probably the same China as it is today. They have like a complete like blocked out the memory that like they used to be even worse.
Yeah.
So tiresome.
From the character who bleeds out, desperately trying to provide the people freedom and power. She's absolutely the show's hero by the end. It's fucking fascinating. So she
What?
convinces him to spy on his wife, which he does, giving you the capitalist.
Oh yeah, the show definitely does try to make Moldaver the hero.
Yeah, but
after making her evil.
Yeah, last minute, like let's turn Hank into a villain, and last minute let's turn Moldaver into the hero of the show. But it doesn't line up. It's the same way as like the things that they have done with Maximus. Like Maximus has done like so many evil deeds that it's very questionable to see him like even try to be a voice of reason in some parts of the show.
You cannot have a person who, in 2077, is pushing communism, and bear in mind this is the communism from Fallout, which is pure evil, because it would mostly be like an evil and evil. It's like an ultra nationalist America versus an ultra communist China.
It is.
And then show her murdering innocent people, torturing innocent people. And then say, oh, she just had this amazing thing where she could have like clean energy, unlimited energy, like, right? But she just wanted to give it to the world. It's like, but she didn't, did she?
But we're gonna light up all the light bulbs in Shade Sands.
She's the good guy, don't you know? Because she's a lesbian as well.
So, yeah. We don't really get that message, by the way, that what her sexuality is. It's only because of what some of the riots have told us.
Oh, she's clearly banging Lucy's mum.
Oh, sure.
Well, she was. No, she probably still is.
That's reason enough for sending a nuke.
But, like I say, they turned Moldaver into this hero, and no, it's not good writing. It's lazy, hackish writing.
Yeah.
of the highest magnitude.
It's never gonna get better than this.
Most money they can make is at the apocalypse scene, which then connects up with the prologue. He is no longer with his wife. Out of principle, he stops doing ads with Vault Tech, but he isn't back in movies, presumably because of what he mentioned earlier about actors not respecting him anymore. Our cowboy capitalist who began shooting commies and accusing people of being Reds has now been flipped.
Come on. Hey,
Pinko.
yeah, he still took my money.
And the next time you see him, he's red. How about that?
Red? That's red.
This plotline is once again worthwhile because Walton Goggins treats it seriously. He's convincing as a man who is genuinely trying to learn more and make the right decision. Unfortunately, it's no less filled with nonsense than every other part of the show. First of all, if Vault Tech have enough corporate power and money to change and direct policy in the government to the point of starting a fucking war, then surely they have enough power to simply envelop the market. Just buy out everyone else in every industry. Become the market. Which, by the way, when including loopholes, would be a far more accurate and interesting lampooning of potential holes in corporatism and economic systems. Hell, it could be interesting to have a character that's essentially a reluctant president at that point.
The President of the United fucking States of America. Who do you think I was talking about? Who the fuck? Who is it? What? I should kick your fucking ass. Who is this?
But oh well, they want to make more money, and so the dirty capitalists will encourage total nuclear annihilation? Okay. Cooper spends most of it well acted, sure, but he's far from a discerning human being acting within his own values and interests. He simply believes communism lady that the device she gives him allows him to hear the truth from his wife. Unfortunately, he's too brain dead to realize a woman who is in direct corporate competition with his wife, who is ideologically opposed to his wife, and has expressed interest in sabotaging Vault Tech, including his wife, just handed him what she called a listening device, and he doesn't even entertain that she's the one who will be listening. He has no idea who is listening beyond him, and he has no idea whether she did this to simply use him. She doesn't even say it's compatible with the Pip-Boy, she just said it's a listening device. He's such a dumb fuck gullible idiot that he actively helped perform corporate espionage on behalf of a communist that directly harms his own wife. It leads to him discovering that Vault Tech intends to blow up the world. That's pretty stupid, but let's go with it. Why did he not use his incredible star power and influence to tell the world? Could you imagine how many people would want this story? The very spokesman, the very poster child, the Pip-Boy himself is turning on Vault Tech? It's almost as though he didn't even try to stop Vault Tech from enacting this plan. Did he not warn people that the vaults are intended as fucking experiments, including but not limited to torturing people? It's very weird that he'll go as far as leaving his wife for her immoral decisions, but he wouldn't warn the world of a fucking thing. And then, of course, how do you think you can have Barbara rant and rave about how she's doing all of this, every last part of it, to protect her daughter, to then fucking have the nukes go off with her daughter facing the brunt of 4 of them? Unless she truly didn't care, because it really was about getting that grand capitalistic monopoly after all. Why would Vault Tech...
Did he add like a whole 5 minutes of his own headcanon into this video? Because they both have like the first episode where like the father and the daughter are at that kid's birthday party. I can understand that like they are together, but like at the same time like they don't know like who dropped the bombs. Yep. We only know that by the end of the series. But yes, it does bring up a problem. But the way he's handling it here is that it's like guaranteed that they are separated by that time.
Also, he doesn't turn into a communist.
He doesn't turn into a communist at all. Like all he did is that like he is doubting his wife.
No, all he did, right, I'm going to be brutally honest with you here, all he did was, hey, we're going to end the world. He went, yeah, I want a divorce.
Yeah.
Then that was it.
That should be it.
He didn't become a communist. Because he takes money as a ghoul in the apocalypse.
Yeah. What else can he do in the apocalypse? And then,
but if he turned to a communist, he wouldn't want any money in the apocalypse. He'd be like, oh, this is a perfect time for everyone to be equal.
Yeah.
No.
What happened to Moldaver in the apocalypse? He But he does act like a communist, so.
Well, what I find funny is Moldover is a communist, and the group she decides to join is the most capitalistic faction left.
The NCR, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess all
radiation messed their head
the
up.
radiation has lowered the IQ, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't realize it that like the ideology is completely the opposite of what they have been standing for.
You know something I noticed as well? This is the second show, well, the first show out of 2 that have praised communism, like straight up.
Yeah. Which one
That
is
and
the
The
other
Last
one?
of Us.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, they have the
Tommy's
commune village. Yeah.
commune. Oh yeah, well, it is communist. See, if everyone just works together, things get done. That still happens in capitalism, you fucking morons.
Yes. It happens whether you want it or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have like one of my past workplaces where they had the exact same line, but at the same time, like he was just a college student. So, what would you expect, honestly?
Not much.
Oh my god! Like all of them are working together, like communism.
Yeah, if you actually read about communism, people don't work together.
They are
commissar
forced.
does nothing.
They're forced to do that. Oh, they can't
And
have
there's someone in charge who does less work.
Yes. And that's how they live off you, like a proletarian. Oh, it's so tiresome. I'm like the Chinese guy in that African documentary where the Empire of Dust or something, yeah.
Yeah, Empire of Dust, yeah, that's great.
I think they should make like a new movie where it's the same Chinese guy.
It's just so tiresome.
It's so tiresome, and he's just only watching the Fallout show. Every plot hole is just, it's so tiresome.
Speaking of the Empire of Dust, they should show that in schools to people.
It should be.
Honestly, it would like open so many people's eyes to a lot of stuff.
It would. It really would.
But anyway.
If only. Wasn't that made by like a British director? Or like production? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But to go into the video with Morlet, there's a clear reason why all these things are being written the way it's written, but he won't.
He won't say it.
Talk about it. No. That's the thing I find. It's like when he praised The Last of Us, and he
excluded everything that you could like even slightly criticize about it.
Yeah.
Like it's so in your face, like what's going on, but he's not gonna say it.
No. And now with The Last of Us Season 2 coming out and the way he's going on with stuff like Tweaking the Drinker, I'm like, yeah, no, you all literally gave a pass to the show because a piece of paper.
Yeah. Piece of paper.
A piece of paper in an episode because, spoilers, Bill died instead of living, and the piece of paper was supposedly that important, they only read part of it. That supposedly changed everything to make Mauler and co think that somehow Joel wasn't going to die in the next season. And so the hopes of the whole season were resting on them changing that. And now I'm listening to him complain
all
that Joel
that for
dies.
Nothing. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely wasted.
It's almost like you could like predict what was going to happen.
As always.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I keep predicting everything.
I got to the conclusion chapter, which should be the end of this video, actually. Well, I guess we're not EFAPing the entire thing, but like there's just like we have been through this already, so it's like just a lot of rinse and repeat.
I've watched this video anyway in its entirety.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I watched it before. Yeah.
Nice.
It was ages ago, so it's just nice re-listening to stuff. But it's also made me remember certain things about the show because, to be honest with you, since we did our review on the show, I've forgotten. Like I've just blocked it out of my memory.
Ever since I uploaded the video, I just like I've completely ignored it. Like I don't even care like if it's viewed anymore or not. It's just like at the end of the video, when you upload something like, because I have been working on that on and off for like 8 months, I believe, and it's just like, wow, what a waste of my time. It's that because like I have been like spending so much to like just research this stupid show. About something that like even the people that made it didn't care that much.
Yeah.
They did care, but not for the reasons that you would hope so that they would.
No offense, but they tried to make out that the actress who played Lucy loved playing Fallout games, and goes, "Oh yeah, I reached like level 2 playing the game, playing Fallout 4, and I realized you reach
level 2 of the vault."
No, not even that. You reach level 3 by leaving the vault. She didn't even get out the vault.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay.
Meanwhile, you have like the Yakuza series where some of the voice actors do play the game, and they are recording themselves playing the game.
Well, it's like Roger Clark with Red Dead. He played through the whole first and second game, and even Red Dead Revolver. And it's like I listened to his opinion on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob Wheatoff, who does John Marston's voice. I pay attention to what he says because he's played through the games.
Yeah, he did. He really loves them.
Well, what makes me laugh is he's only ever done 2 things in his entire acting career.
Yeah, Red Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's it. Then he went back to construction.
Yeah. And
what a Chad.
I think like what he did, he quit smoking after Red Dead 1, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
and also the guy who voiced Dutch also quit smoking with him.
Yeah. it came out well for them, for both of them. We're never gonna see a game like that again.
Nope. No, we're not.
Never again. Okay. Conclusion. Say your piece, Mahler.
Fucking balls and deserves no respect. It is a fumbled fuck swamp of malformed idiocy that has no interest in respecting your time or investment, but absolutely hopes you are distracted enough by everything else. We have a plethora of examples of insane plot armor, inconsistent and embarrassing mechanics, character assassinations, boring stretches of scenes with fuck all in them, broken world building, insufficient explanations essentially providing us the grand experience of knowing fuck all about the wasteland, the people there, what they think and feel about how everything functions, or rather how it doesn't. The intrigue and reveal of Vault 33 wasn't merely the peak of wasted potential, it was one of the stupidest reveals in all of TV history. The dialogue, the atmosphere, the editing, it all needs work. The choice to have the first episode both inside and out of the vault was a stupid one. The reveal of Lucy entering the wasteland is absolutely undermined. The acting, while good for several of the participants in this circus, could use some work in that reactions to pain are highly inconsistent. There are many examples of weird or funny reactions.
Reaction to pain. That's such a weird thing to say.
Do you hear that? He kind of went, However, sometimes you get more appropriate reactions, and then you get heavier reactions to things that aren't even injuries. And let's not forget this banger delivery from ADR Kyle MacLachlan in episode 8.
It was everything the vaults had promised.
She is lying. I'm a human male.
She is lying. The gore often seems gratuitous instead of meaningful and entirely inconsistent. I am all for gore, but gore for the sake of gore is kinda boring and edgy, and this show has that in spades. There will at times be just awful CGI when they have no excuse, though despite feeling fake as fuck here and there, some sets were awesome and the costumes, including makeup, were top-notch, which is almost more of a shame. Oh, and I'm not kidding, there is a full set of Zack Snyder Wonder Woman yodels for the ghoul. It's so bad, and I'm gonna force you through all of it.
Oh no. It's your favorite.
The yodeling.
It is yodeling.
I forgot about the yodeling. I forgot about the fact I accidentally wandered onto the Austrian mountainside.
The only Austrians that managed to survive the nuclear fallout. it's not even the same one. They asked the guy to do separate recording.
Yeah.
And let's not forget how much they played Maximus's one flashback. I experienced it, so you have to too.
To hurt the people who hurt me?
What was the purpose of these flashbacks, really? Like,
they created a really good fridge, and they were like, "We're going to show this off so many times."
Take that, Indiana Jones 4. And the Crystal Skull.
Indiana Jones' remains can be found inside a fridge.
The characters need so much more work in general. So much of their journeys are damaged by basic interactions, jokes, attempts at being shocking, or of course, their actual developmental scenes being balked from beginning to end. As though the writer has many wonderful ideas, but has no idea how to make them coherent. This, of course, spreads to its themes.
Everyone wants to save the world, they disagree on how.
One being something of an exploration of many different minds' approaches to saving the world. You get the approach of nothing but trust and care, all the way over to getting what's yours no matter what. Saving your own world, so to speak. I find this pretty meaningless in that nothing coherent is said or understood about how we will tend to contextualize saving our fellow man or the world we're all a part of. Most of it is random actions by characters the writers thought were much more meaningful in their journeys than anyone else did, with major points retaining the subtlety of pulling teeth. Look, Vault 31, 32, and 33 have to solve the dilemma of dealing with prisoners because they usually accept absolutely no one. Look,
it's
Moldaver
only
takes in all of everyone.
33 that has to deal with that.
Power to the people. Look, Hank just wants everyone who isn't him and his to die, making the world a peaceful place. Look, Cooper just wants his family. That's his world. Look, Lucy just wants to treat everyone as she would like to be treated. Look, Maximus just wants to be safe, comfy, and happy with Lucy. I guess.
Yeah. I think that about covers it. I think by tomorrow I'm gonna forget about all of this.
Forget about season 2 when it finishes, even though it's going to be the class of the greatest show that's ever existed.
It's
like
not,
it always happens.
You know, I honestly like. When season 2 comes out, I'm not even gonna check it out. Like I don't care. Like I'm just gonna have. I'm gonna treat it the same way I do with the Marvel movies. I don't even watch the trailers for those. Honestly.
No. You don't even need to watch anything. You go onto YouTube and YouTube Shorts show you the entire movie anyway.
It's gonna show me like the points that are of interest, the twist. And you can get the rest of it on Twitter.
No offense, but like when that Thunderbolts came out, I knew Sentry would be fighting them and beating them up because YouTube Shorts kept showing me the very end scenes of the film.
It did?
Yeah.
Right, because I don't even know who Sentry is, and I don't even care.
It's just this really super powerful, strong character who's like the strongest person ever.
So he's like the 126th strongest ever character that ever been before.
It's like One Punch Man, but One
Punch Man, except boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I knew straight, like I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, oh yeah. Then the final scene is that they defeat him with the power of friendship because they give them a hug.
They give him a hug.
Yeah. Because he has a split personality. And so they hug the good personality and it beats the bad personality. And I was like, oh, great. I don't have to watch this movie now because it's all been spoilt for me. Excellent. Thank you.
Why would... No words. Honestly, so no words.
So I don't care. But all I know is this. The first episode will come out, everyone will rave about it because it's brand new shiny thing. Then we'll get to episode 3. Something will happen by episode 3 that will annoy the people who praised it.
Yeah.
Which always happens. Like the people like Drinker and Mauler, every single time a new show comes out,
they enjoy episode 1 and 2, praise it. Then episode 3 comes out and they go, "Oh, this is terrible," and they go back to slagging it off. And then come the end of the season, everyone who's left watching it calls it the greatest thing that's ever existed, the best show ever. And then within 2 to 3 weeks, it is completely forgotten about. No one talks about it. It never gets brought up again until 6 months later, someone makes a video going, "Can we talk about how bad this is?" And the few last strongholds pop up and go, "Actually, it's really good. You just don't understand it."
But
that's how it always goes.
I feel like it's gonna come to the point very soon that people are not even gonna go that far. They're just gonna forget about it. They're just gonna go for the next thing.
It.
Why is like currently like the most popular show?
It was Last of Us season 2.
Well, current year.
Yeah, it's the Last of Us season 2 that's coming out. That's the popular show.
That's it. That really is one.
Okay, name another really popular show that's on what's been this year. Go.
Last of Us season 2. No, I can't. I really can't. Like I'm looking for
Andor.
Andor season 2. Yeah. Okay, that was popular because it had the rape scene.
Okay.
And that's all I know about.
I'll be brutally honest with you. Outside of a few things of Mauler, I don't really hear anyone talking about fucking Andor.
No, but I have not seen anyone say, like, all I hear is because I only have like a select few like accounts that I still follow on Twitter, and the few of those that I'll talk about Andor is that like they say that like it's just as empty as all the other Disney products are. Like it's trying to share that like, oh well, this is like a good writing and such, but it's really just like trying to spread that this ideology is that like white people bad, they have fascism and so on. They don't really do that. They just have like a system and such, and like this is all bad. We need like something diverse. That's how they present the Andor. Is that it's a good answer. It's woke done right.
Nobody in like my normie circles talks about Andor.
Nobody, and like that's all the criticism I have seen.
I feel that Andor is given a lot of praise because it allows people to pretend that they're pretentiously liking something more higher art.
Probably so, but honestly, like I'm just so done with Star Wars itself. I don't want to.
I'm so done with most.
Yeah.
Like shows.
I don't even watch like anything recent. Like the only movie I would watch this year is the last Mission Impossible movie, just for the spectacle.
In those.
I got like invited by friends, so that's all the reason I would go for that. But it's the same goes for like what was the movie like a couple of years ago, like the John Wick movies. Like they are like the perfect like popcorn movies that you only watch once and you just like don't even remember it. But like at least it's good for that. I would never watch anything Disney or Marvel in a cinema.
I've got to the point now where I can predict exactly how things are going because I've watched enough of the same slop for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, oh, I know exactly how this goes. And then people go, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, yeah, I could tell you that was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
This way? No way.
Oh, what a twist!
It's kind of like, yeah.
Are you telling me that the main character is a strong, independent woman? Wow. Are you telling me that she's going to have some sort of daddy issues? Wow. Are you telling me that the bad guy is going to be some sort of white rich guy? Whoa, wow.
You're telling me that in the middle of the story, the friends are going to have a fallout? No way.
Are you telling me that the first 2 episodes are a bit higher quality to attract people in, and then the 3rd episode kicks everything to the ground and just becomes the creator's activism? Oh, wow. And nothing gets done, and the plots don't mean anything, and it ends in a massive mess because actually no one knows how to write anything? Oh, wow.
this is all just ridiculous. I can't believe.
All right, Tabernacle.
People are allowed to make these things.
Just ridiculous.
I'll jerk off 3 times a day. Whatever the fuck he was saying.
Oh man, I remember that one. But no, everything becomes the same. Everything just descends into the same slop. And you predict it all the time. I literally keep predicting stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You even mentioned how much I predict.
Nostradamus, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't I say this? Didn't I even say in your Fallout video?
Yeah, there's a segment. There's a segment where you predicted like all of those things. Like we shall see in December. That's the only thing that I'm gonna watch it for.
I literally said to you as well, this is the worst thing to happen this year until Dragon Age of the Veilguard.
Yes, that did happen.
And that was, what, 6-7 months before that game was even thought of being released?
Yeah. I think like there was like, what? Did we even see the teaser trailers by that time? No, there wasn't anything out of it. It was just like some like basic visuals for the cover art.
Yeah,
it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
dear.
I don't think like BioWare is gonna be around for too long.
No.
With how things are going.
My prediction in my video is still on track.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go the way that everyone. Oh, we're going to be done by February. I'm like, wait until the end of the year. Let's just see what's going to happen.
I met with my friend who is like a massive Inquisition fan, and even he said that like Veilguard was so bad. he stopped his EA subscription or whatever that was. Like where you can get like you pay EA thing. Like a couple of bucks and then you get like free games.
Yeah, it's the Origin account, isn't it?
Origin account, I bet, yeah. But like it was really bad. Like he was angry, even though like every time like he was praising the Inquisition, I was like, okay, I guess so. It's just like people who have played Inquisition as the first Dragon Age game have like a hard time adjusting to what the real game is.
Not the first two, I like, yeah.
Yeah. Why even begin with the third one? Is a mystery to me.
I don't know. There were people out there who started the Mass Effect series at the third game.
Yes, I remember those people.
I still don't understand why BioWare went, oh, we've got to cater to these people. Why? They weren't interested. But anyway, that's
we need to make a remaster so we can introduce those people to like the slightly older games that we released.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess we're done with the Fallout video. I mean, like this was like a surprisingly good video from Mahler, but there are like some parts that I think he's just trying to avoid the subject. He's trying to avoid the elephant in the room, basically.
Yeah. There's only so much you can say. Oh, it's just accidental bad writing.
The writing is so. Oh, if only it was the writing. No.
Only the writing was a little bit better. It's like the writing can't be better because there's a certain ideology controlling the writing. There's a certain way.
And now that he's not a capitalist cowboy, he's a communist. No.
No,
he never was.
He's divorced his wife.
In fact, like I would even argue that like he wasn't even like the Ghoul's character was never like arguing for capitalism as in like a way, because like there's the scene which he even featured himself like more that the Ghoul admits that like he's just an actor, like he doesn't know shit. At least like he's earnest about his opinions. Oh well. at least
That
like
was fun.
Fallout is out of my system. I would say that this is a success for sure.
Mhm.
I'm never looking back. Well,
No,
yeah.
I have no interest in the live action TV shows ever again. I've got no interest in them.
Yeah.
I wasted enough time on this first season. I'm not wasting time on the second season, which is just going to be 8 episodes of the same rehashed story.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's like let it go. Stop watching streaming services and play more FIFA and Red Dead 2. This is our recommendation for today.
Not even that. Just go back to older stuff, just so that you can actually see how bad things have got.
Go on a walk in the forest. Do anything like. Go outside and lawn your lawn, mow your lawn, or whatever the fuck. My brain is hurting from just watching Fallout. Oh.
But yeah, we should do something other than watch season 2 of Fallout.
Yeah, anything. Just avoid season 2 by all means. You know what? I don't even need to watch season 2. I can just go to Twitter and like wait for someone else to collect like those few minutes of footage that I need to see like the plot, and that's enough. Like anyone who tells you otherwise that like you need to watch the entire show so you don't miss the context is just lying. These shows are entirely empty. They are just giant waste of your time. Ah, okay. That's enough. I think we can end the stream now. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream, especially Matthias for keeping on with the stream from beginning to end, and Xton Zero for joining us. This was Keyframe Chopper and Mr. Sarcastic Hawk. We welcome you next time we come together for a stream, which I don't know when it's gonna happen, but there's gonna be a good reason for it. Anything on the ending words, Hawk, to say?
No, don't bother with this Fallout. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like memorable and like amazing, and all I've got is I'm getting too old for this shit.
Remember Fallout? Oh no. Okay, let's play the game instead.
Yeah.
Right. Well. Good night.
Bye.